A Chinese J-16 fighter has made a rare entry into military drills hosted by a NATO member, giving Beijing an unusual chance to showcase its air power beyond Asia. The exercise raises fresh questions over whether NATO air forces are prepared to counter Xi Jinping's elite J-16 fighter, China's heavyweight multirole jet built for air superiority and strike missions. The J-16 faced Egyptian Rafales in direct medium-range and close-range combat drills, creating a rare one-on-one encounter between Chinese and Western fighter platforms. China's J-16 deployment offers a glimpse of the type of air combat that could unfold in a Taiwan conflict, as Beijing flexes its fighter capabilities in NATO airspace. China's J-16 fighter jet conducted air combat drills against Egyptian Rafales in a rare test involving two advanced multirole aircraft. The encounter took place during Egypt's Eagles of Civilization 2026 exercise, bringing Chinese and Egyptian air forces together for high-level combat training. Reports describe the drills as the first known exercise in which a Chinese fighter aircraft has trained directly against the French-made Rafale. The J-16 and Rafale carried out both medium-range and close-range combat scenarios, testing their performance across different stages of an aerial engagement. The exercise placed China's heavyweight J-16 multirole fighter directly against a leading Western-designed combat platform. The J-16 arrived in Egypt after long-range deployment of around 6,000 kilometers from China, demonstrating the PLA Air Force's growing expeditionary reach. China's Air Force used a YY-20A aerial-refuelling tanker to support the J-16 fighters during the lengthy journey to Egypt. The J-16's appearance comes after Chinese-made J-10 fighters faced intense scrutiny following air combat claims during the 2025 India-Pakistan conflict. Pakistan credited its J-10C fighters with shooting down Indian aircraft, including Rafales, during the confrontation with India. India disputed Pakistan's account, leaving the exact number and type of aircraft losses during the conflict contested. The Egypt drills cannot prove whether the J-16 or Rafale would be superior in actual combat, where pilot skill, weapons, tactics, and situational conditions are decisive. But the encounter gives China a rare opportunity to study how its fighter performs against the Rafale in controlled training scenarios. China's global air power push takes shape as she branches out and expands Beijing's overseas reach. From Europe to Southeast Asia, Beijing flexes air muscle and signals a growing appetite for long-range power projection. Belarus, Thailand, Egypt, Xi's air power network expands, taking Chinese military aviation into new strategic spaces. China flexes muscle in Egypt. J-16 fighters arrive near Israel's doorstep, raising fresh questions over Beijing's intentions. China's PLA Air Force takes its biggest overseas step yet, as Beijing showcases its ability to operate far from home. Warning for Israel and US as she shows he can project air power 6,000 kilometers away, bringing China closer to a wider strategic role. China is boosting its reach through strategic exercises with 3 different countries, expanding the PLA Air Force's overseas operational footprint. Belarus, Thailand, and Egypt held joint drills with China's Air Force in August 2026, highlighting Beijing's growing military engagement abroad. Beijing is reportedly conducting these exercises to showcase the PLA Air Force's capabilities and demonstrate its ability to operate overseas. With Russia's close ally Belarus, China held the Swift Eagle 2025 airborne drills on August 12, expanding bilateral military cooperation. Both sides completed basic training and refined coordination at the PLA Training Force Center, preparing for more complex exercises. Chinese and Belarusian troops are practicing joint command procedures and counter-terror operations as part of the ongoing training. The next phase will reportedly include comprehensive drills in environments designed to resemble actual combat conditions. With Egypt, China announced joint training drills running from mid-August until early September, bringing their air forces together. China sent J-16 heavy fighters to Egypt for the Eagles of Civilization 2026 exercise, marking a notable overseas deployment. Videos released by China's PLAF showed J-16 jets being refueled mid-air while traveling towards Egypt for the drills. The J-16's African debut marks a new step in China's long-range air deployment, demonstrating greater expeditionary reach. Different aircraft, including the J-10C and KJ-500, along with Chinese personnel, were deployed for the Egypt exercise. Chinese aircraft reportedly traveled more than 6,000 kilometers to reach an Egyptian airbase, underlining the scale of the deployment. The exercise tested China's ability to move combat aircraft across continents and sustain operations far from home, according to reports. China and Thailand are also conducting their 9th Joint Air Force training exercise, strengthening military-to-military cooperation between Beijing and Bangkok. The drill featured Chinese J-10C, J-10S and Y-20 aircraft alongside Thai fighters, bringing multiple platforms together in combined training. China's Y-20 transport aircraft and Thailand's Gripen fighters also took part in the joint drills, expanding the scope of the bilateral exercise. Drawing lessons from Iran's war against the US, China is boosting its own stealth technologies to counter advanced aircraft. China is now reportedly testing simpler ways to detect, track and shoot down stealth jets, potentially challenging their battlefield advantage. Primarily aimed at American fighters, China is combining manpads with air defense missiles to create lead threats. Chinese state media claimed PLA teams coordinated fire against simulated stealth targets during military exercises designed to test detection. China reportedly used man-portable air defense systems alongside HQ-16 missiles in coordinated firing drills. Chinese media alleged that manpads can exploit infrared signatures that stealth aircraft cannot completely hide from detection. A PLA drill reportedly used manpads to target low-signature aircraft during nighttime firing exercises designed to test the tactic. Unlike radar-guided systems, infrared missiles track heat generated by aircraft engines and airframes, offering another detection method. The systems reportedly had to be fired almost simultaneously to prevent one missile from tracking another during the coordinated engagement. The tactic would require precise coordination because manpads have a much shorter range compared with conventional air defense systems. Chinese experts claimed she's exploring lower-cost weapons against high-value stealth targets, potentially creating an asymmetric threat. Experts alleged manpads could work alongside radars, data links, and multiple sensors to improve detection of difficult-to-track aircraft. Beijing has also invested in low-frequency radars and multistatic detection systems designed to strengthen its broader counter-stealth capabilities. China's anti-stealth strategy is reportedly far broader than portable infrared missiles, combining multiple sensors and weapons into a layered network. China's 6th-generation fighter has now shown off unprecedented maneuvers in new footage, offering another glimpse of a large tailless aircraft still under flight testing. The footage showed the Chengdu-developed aircraft executing a complex high-alpha move, moving through an extreme nose-up attitude before a sharp descent and recovery. The aircraft enters high-alpha flight at a demanding angle of attack, where airflow over its wings and control surfaces becomes far less stable and predictable. It then pitches over rapidly before entering a steep descent, requiring the flight control system to manage a sudden and dramatic shift in aircraft attitude. The jet transitions from high-alpha flight into a near-vertical dive, a move that can rapidly increase speed while reducing the pilot's margin for error. It performs a sharp recovery while maintaining aircraft control, avoiding an aerodynamic stall or loss of stability as forces rise during the pullout. The aircraft must rapidly manage changing airspeed and energy, preventing it from gaining too much speed in the dive or losing too much for recovery. It continues climbing immediately after recovering from the dive, showing that it retained enough energy, thrust, and control authority to regain altitude. However, recovering from the steep dive may be the most demanding phase of the entire maneuver, because the aircraft must regain control under rapidly increasing aerodynamic pressure. The flight control system must manage rapidly changing angles of attack, shifting the jet from an extreme nose-up condition into a steep descent and controlled recovery. It must maintain control as airflow becomes less predictable, particularly around a tailless airframe that lacks conventional horizontal and vertical stabilizers. The aircraft has to control rapidly changing airspeed during the dive, preventing excessive acceleration that could strain the airframe or complicate the recovery. It must withstand potentially high G-loads during recovery, as the jet pulls out of the dive and rapidly redirects its flight path upward. The maneuver must remain within aerodynamic and structural limits, ensuring high loads and unstable airflow do not damage the aircraft or cause a loss of control. The jet also has to preserve enough energy to climb after recovery, demonstrating that the dive and pullout did not exhaust its available performance margin. The maneuvers are even more striking given the fighter's unusual size and tailless design, a configuration that can aid stealth but creates serious control challenges. China's new fighter must overcome a major control problem created by its tailless design, because conventional tails normally provide critical pitch, yaw, and stability control. In tailless aircraft, pitch control is among the biggest challenges, with elevons and other wing-mounted control surfaces taking over functions normally handled by tailplanes. China first showed the new fighter's tailless maneuverability in footage released in June, when the aircraft appeared to perform a sharp turn and climb. The latest display now points to more sophisticated flight control capabilities, according to Military Watch magazine.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now. Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.